Hello, more Starvaders. We're back here with another run. Unfortunately, we made a very, very big mistake towards the end of yesterday's run, and we let a Echo, I think, that was like channeling Doom get us, because from what I was looking at on the screen, I thought he would get hit by one of the Hemocyte shooters, but he didn't. And yeah, he just proceeded to immediately kill us. 3 Doom to 5 Doom, that's all it takes when it's on Impossible. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. We tried out some new things on Garu yesterday. I was not a very big fan of Blast Fire, specifically on Garu. I think on Gunners this is like one of their stronger commons, because it handles both like a small amount of mobility and also gives you like 2 damage worth of output. There's a lot to like there. But everything else in the deck I was fairly happy with. We were like a Meteor full deck with a combination of like Alchemize and Eraser to prune down our deck. I think, yeah, normally Garu does not have access to a lot of mana generation through like his default kit and the stuff that Keepers have access to, but like we managed to get a few sources of mana through the Egg, Red Brand, Flare Gun. Yeah. In any case, we unfortunately lost. It is what it is. It's going to happen from time to time. Let's start up a new streak and see what we can get done today. Okay, so we're going to be on Min today. One of the newest gunner to be added to the game in the 2.0 update. It works like a normal gunner in that you get a heat gauge, you fill the heat gauge by like playing cards, but her unique thing is the Omega Gate, which she starts with. Her gimmick primarily deals with these quarks, which when entering your hand, it gets purged, you draw a card to like replace it, and then you put a Autobomb on a random tile near an invader, which is these things that you've seen before. But then you might ask, okay, how do I get more quarks? Well, Omega Gate gives you one for free in your draw pile at the start, and whenever you burn a card, you add a quark to your discard pile. So, Min is all about burning your cards repeatedly, finding ways to do that sustainably to like last in a long fight against the Overseer or the Act 3 boss, and you get paid off for doing that by having a bunch of these quarks in your deck, which whenever you draw them, just gives you a lot of output for free. There are a lot of synergies with these quarks. It works with the zero cost synergies that the gunners have. Let me just run over to the gunners section to I really outline all the different synergies that the quarks can have. So the quarks can work with the zero cost synergies that you might have. 2 notable cards include Backtrack and Misfire. Both of these, because the quarks have zero cost, Backtrack and Misfire can both bring them, well, in this case from the draw pile or from the discard pile. When you play these, the quarks in the appropriate zone will be found, brought to your hand, and then triggered, which is really good. The gunners also love bombs. Balloon deals with bombs, Red Giant deals with bombs, Sonic Boom deals with bombs, Shrapnel deals with bombs. Bomber Mech also deals with bombs, although that's less relevant with the quarks specifically. But yeah, all of these artifacts deal with bombs, and they all work with the quarks because, well, they generate bombs. As far as the rest of the kit, Big Bang, guess what? Works with quarks. Annihilation works with quarks. Plasma Bombs works with quarks. You might ask, hey, guys, and that doesn't do anything with your other bombs. Why does it matter to Min to have a Plasma Bomb? Well, guess what? Quarks are also junks, which enter your hand and then leave it. So Plasma Bomb is going to see those trigger and then just get bigger and bigger because you're doing the thing that you're meant to do anyways. Salve, Excellence, Salve and Eject, both of these are like ways for you to repeatedly burn cards and not suffer the consequences, and Min loves these. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, anytime you see junk synergies, which are normally they require a little bit of work to get going, but with Jester, you just don't need to do any work with Min to make like cards like these excellent, because guess what? Quarks are junks. We've explained it a little bit ago, and Jester gives all of them components. And it just happens that all the Quark components are excellent. They either give you more heatsink, draw you more cards, or just add even more Quarks to your discard pile whenever you draw them. So Jester, which is normally a pretty tricky card to make work, also excellent in this deck. Hothead, awesome. Like, yeah, it's kind of crazy that like Min just gets to have all of these synergies that normally take some work to assemble work out for her. The biggest challenge you'll run into with her is going to be, well, how do I burn cards as much as possible without destroying my deck? You want to be doing that at least once a turn, and if possible, more than once a turn. To help with that, you obviously get the normal way of burning cards because you're a gunner. You can just play like four heatsinks worth of cards, even with your base deck, to get there. But also, to help you out here, you start with a really strong card in your deck called Catalyst, which burns a card in your hand and draws 3 cards. But if the target that you're hitting with Catalyst is already burnt, you unburn it and make it frozen. So this card gives you some card draw to help you draw into your Quarks, but also it burns them to make more, and also if you have a burnt out deck, Catalyst can help you a little bit by getting rid of, unburning some of those cards. Another very notable starter card that Min has is Atomic Fire, which is a much stronger version of the default fire. This basically makes it so that it's a normal fire, of course, but if you destroy any bombs with the Atomic Fire, and not just with the bullet itself, if anything, if any bombs are destroyed right during the resolution of Atomic Fire, let's say you blow up a detonator with it, let's say you destroy a bomb, but then that bomb blows up a second bomb, any bombs that blows up during this process can be detonated with +1 radius. Just to put into perspective how unbelievably strong this effect is, normally gunners need a where is it? Yeah, normally gunners need a rare card to make this work, which is Detonator. You need a rare card to then like have access to this, or you need to get Red Giant, which is like comes with an insanely large downside. But Min just gets it. Min just gets to have it. She throws out bombs all day, every day, without needing any bomb cards. And yeah, with Atomic Fire, she gets to get a lot of mileage out of the bombs, more than she already would normally. In any case, Min is a whole lot of fun, both to figure out and to play. Her early game is a little bit inconsistent because these autobombs do not get placed where you want. They're placed in random tiles near invaders. There are some situations where she can just peter out early and die. But once she gets set up, oh baby, she's going to have some awesome turns. Let's see what we can do with Min today. And yeah, let's go. Bud's Factory. What are we going to start with? Okay. While we're on Min, there's something I'm always a giant fan of, which is cards that have this Frosty modifier. I think I explained why I like it when we played Roxy that one time, because it lets you like exceed your mana gauge and also burn it for free without suffering consequences. Well, we just explained why like Min really, really, really wants to burn them as often as possible. Yeah, she really wants to burn cards as often as possible because that's how her whole gimmick works. And having a card like this that's always a reliable burn target, both for Catalyst and also just you can also just burn it by playing it as your 4th card every turn normally, that is excellent for a lot of reasons. And I think the other choice here is between either Rush or Blast Off. Blast Off is a very reliable and a quick way for you to burn multiple cards, and it's also just a pretty strong. Attack. Our other choice here is Rush, which moves us 1 to 4 tiles and strikes our mech. This actually puts a jam in our deck, but for Min, that's actually pretty good, because when we have junk in our hand, that's another thing we can burn freely by playing it as the 4th card of our turn without suffering like that many real consequences. On top of all of that, Rush is also like drawing us a card whenever we play it, so that does not hurt at all. I think I'm happy enough to just start with these two. Blast Off, I wouldn't mind taking, but I do wonder if we have the means to support it yet. I do. This is an interesting thought, to be sure. Well, you know what? I think today I am going to go with... I'm going to go with Rush. Let me know if you would have picked Blast Off instead. I can see that side of things. Burst Fire, also, I know it did not perform that well on Garu yesterday, but I do genuinely think it's like one of the better commons that Gunners have access to. I just think these two cards, actually this one as well, these three are just better than it in this case. Yeah, all 5 of these I can see reasons for picking them, but personally I'm going to go with these two because I think both of these contribute to our game plan of burning stuff in some ways. Rush is also just an excellent card. It costs 0. It moves you 4 tiles, which is a lot more than you might think. For context, like the shifts you start with costs 1 mana, and they also only move you 2 tiles. These suck in comparison to Rush. Yeah, Eclipse is going to be a little bit of a concern, but I suspect if we are able to just execute on our game plan consistently, the bombs will take care of them very well. Artillery Strike being able to hit rows that we're not currently in also does not hurt at all. So yeah, we're gonna get going and see what we can do here. Min loves artifacts. Min absolutely adores artifacts. I just don't know if we can survive a cloudy node. I think we owe it to ourselves to give it a shot. We already lost yesterday anyways. Why not take a few risks and just see what happens? Yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna do this. That'll burn the 1 atomic fire here. The important thing is it kills both of those fallen angels, which really gives us a big boost. It's gonna give us a big boost in stars. I don't know if we have the means to kill these two here. Yeah, there is no second Quark in our deck there. I think the best I can do at the moment is going to be this. Okay, well that is encouraging. So that'll get us the bounty, although it is minuscule to be completely fair. we'll be able to wrap up this last fight. No problem whatsoever. So that was still a decent payout, although I did not get as much stuff as I might have wanted. Okay, this is a tough choice between Bomber Mech and Mad Science. Mad Science is, I think, one of Min's best artifacts. This is her unique artifact. It gives you an extra quirk on top of the usual one that Omega Gate gives you. And the most important part being, whenever you purge a quirk, there's a 50% chance of you making an additional copy in your discard pile. Which just, overall, it just means that like every one of your quirks recurs into like 0.5 quirk. If it makes sense. I guess it's even closer to like, yeah, because then that 50% chance for a quirk, when you get that, there's another 50% chance of that one making another one. When it gets exiled, I guess, like, if you really want to think about it, like, going infinitely long term, it effectively doubles the number of quarks that you make. Because every quark recurs into, like, a SEV of 0.5 additional quark when it gets purged, and that 0.5 gets halved again, and then again, and then again, and then again, because every single quark has a chance to make another one of itself. Bomber Mech, obviously fantastic. Normally this, I think, if it was against other, like, random, no-name artifacts, like, Bomber Mech would be the go-to here. But I do think Mad Science is going to be a little bit better, because it, just like Bomber Mech, really improves our volume of, it really improves our bomb volume by just getting more bombs onto the field. The one thing that would make me a little sad is if we end up seeing Sonic Boom after all of this, but I do suspect Mad Science is going to help us out a lot in some other ways. I am going to pick it up here. I feel very happy that we found it. Alright. Do we want to just go down here? I don't hate that. Although, there's an argument to just re-rolling here to see if we can do a little bit better than this. I don't hate going down here necessarily, because I do think this is still going to give us a lot of money. What the heck? Let's give it a shot. Yeah, the Swarmer Pluses guarantees that a lot of guys will show up, which is a really good sign of things to come. I do think I'll be burning yet another quark here. You can already see Mad Science doing its job here insanely well. After just burning a few things and then, like, yeah, after just burning a few things here and there, we're already up to... We already ended up with like 4 quarks in our deck, which is, well, a lot. Yeah, this is Min's engine coming at her best. So many bombs on the board, so much like random stuff that you can just have access to. I do think I will just... Yeah, we'll just burn as much stuff as we want, because the fight is almost nearing its completion. Oh, no, it's not. I didn't know that invaders could continue to spawn after the Time Angel had already shown up. That was actually a historic first for me, if you'll believe it. Seriously, man, did not believe that was possible. But I guess we'll just have to make it work, won't we? So that will still kill the Time Angel. Give us a reasonable bounty here. Thank God. Okay, that will be everything. I think we can then just call it a day there. Ooh, that Migo might have gotten me good if we didn't have a Zentillion Quartz in our deck, but it's all good. Oh, a Fire Recess. That is nice. There's also something else to consider here, which is blowouts. I think Recess with Fire might just be too strong to pass up. Like a 0 cost that both moves and attacks just does an insane amount for you. It's a little awkward into the Eclipse, but like, I mean, what isn't, really? I think we're just gonna be totally fine. Blowouts, it's a 1-mana draw 3 with like this very nice additional upside, which might not be that bad, honestly. I am gonna pick up Recess though. I just think like an already excellent card that comes with the excellent upgrade, you just can't pass that up. Oh Lord, Misfire is gonna be awesome here. The question then is, do we pick up Ultra Coolants? I think, yeah, Misfire is getting in our deck no matter what. Like I discussed previously, Misfire, not only does it already grab our 2 of the best cards in our deck, the Rush and the Recess, it also grabs all the Quarks that we will have generated, which is going to be incredibly strong. I think the last choice then comes between Ultra Coolants and Threat Radar. I'm honestly not sure what to think here. Ultra Coolant has some potential as, like... Yeah, but Threat Radar is so incredibly good for so many reasons. I think I'm just gonna pick up Threat Radar and then remove 1 ship from our deck. Ultra Coolant could have been a fun gamble for us, obviously. And if I did not see Misfire, I think I would have picked up both Ultra Coolant and Threat Radar without thinking too much about it. Threat Radar are one of the best card draw artifacts on Gunner. Every time you enter a danger zone, and it's any time you move into one for any reason, you just draw a card. And as you might expect, Min's really good at generating danger zones because all of her autobombs project one by being on the map. So you can just very easily, if you need to draw more in a pinch, just move into one. Guess what? That's another card for you. So a lot to like there. I still feel uneasy against the Eclipse because, let's be honest, there is never a time where you can walk into this fight and think, ah, damn, everything's handled. These guys are just really tough. I think the Keepers in general have a much easier time against them because they don't need to play move cards to move their summons around. So a lot of their summons just come with that ability. But us, we're gonna have to work just a little bit harder. Although, given how like strange Min is as a whole, I don't think we'll need to work too hard to make things really happen. The artillery strike is going to kill that one. Oh, and we're going to gain a junk from that guy, unfortunately. Okay, didn't get any triggers off of those, which is a bit of a shame, but... I think that'll be fine. yeah, we're really gonna start. We're gonna start burning cards as much as we possibly can here, and that will mean. Us eating that one junk really was not great. Now I think we have a lot more detritus in our deck than I otherwise would have liked. So this is gonna unfortunately give us an incredible amount of junk. I might be playing my hand a little bit too forcefully here. There was just a lot of junk gained from that whole thing. I do think I'm gonna need a turn or two to, like, get rid of them at this juncture. Yeah, that's 5 junk in our deck. That might be a little too much even for my taste. That's another one. It's not a good situation to be in, to be entirely honest. I think that means I need to do this. I will burn that one more time. Yeah, that Frosty over modifier really is working overtime for us. We're just getting a lot of value out of it turn on turn. We're gonna get rid of 2 of that junk and then unfortunately get another one. But I do think the situation is, at this point, essentially handled. Yeah, there's the powerful effect on Misfire really coming into effect. I'm loving it. Yeah, this should take care of everything else here, and we should just... Yep, it's over. Huge payout from everything else out there. That's a tough choice. Jester and Soul Siphon, both of which are incredibly strong. Soul Siphon gives us, like, effectively unlimited mana when we're out there and triggering quarks all the time, but Jester makes it so that all of our quarks have components, which either can draw us more cards, give us more heatsink, or just give us more quarks. Overall, I think it's definitely between these two. Baloo has some cool stuff that can happen with this, because all the bombs are, like, pushed up every single turn, which will include all of our auto bombs, and that will make them deal more damage than usual, but I do think we're still just looking to trigger them with Atomic Fire anyways, instead of all the other stuff. This might be a little controversial, but I think I'm going to pick up Jester here, because it gives us a little bit of everything in addition to just mana. There's a 1 in 3 chance that it does what Soul Siphon does, but obviously there can be so much more. Jester also works with Mad Science because, well, it helps us get yet more. It helps us get yet more quarks in the deck through this component right here, which is Mirror. Which again, every time any additional quirks enter the circulation, that's another, effectively 2 quirks because of the recursive nature of Mad Science. Soul Siphon has a proven track record in the past of being just like an incredibly strong card, but incredibly strong artifact, but I actually think Jester might be a little better than it on Min. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we also just give ourselves a lot of junk through other methods with Rush and then like bombs exploding on ourselves, so I guess Jester will also help us make those more useful. It's actually really rare for Jester to be this unbelievably powerful in a deck that doesn't like naturally generate that much junk, but I am gonna pick it up here and be very happy about it. I think I'm not in love with any of these. I will reroll just once in hopes of like picking up an artifact or something along those lines. How much do I like going in here? I think I'll give it a shot. Yeah, as you can see, these quarks have already begun working off of Jester and entering with additional components. And that's a wrap. Excellent. Interesting. A lot of cool stuff going on here. Liquid Coolant might be the best. Liquid Coolant might just be the best card here. Attack cards not overheating in our hand while it's in. Maybe that's actually a downside? I'm not sure. Being able to just play cards as much as we want is definitely not bad, though. One very neat trick you can do with Min using Catalyst is to actually like burn it with Catalyst, draw it again, and then freeze it with Catalyst, which will keep it in your hand for as long as you want. I suppose the one good thing about it also is that like we can just burn it on demand whenever we want by like playing it while we are overheated. And yeah, it's really just all upside, no downside. And by the way, this text here on a Liquid Coolant does not require it to be played to take effect. So even while it is burnt, it does not lose this effect, which is really cool. Momentum, a fine card, but I think I'll be picking up Liquid Coolant. For what it's worth, it can also get picked up by Misfire, which is very strong. Oh, having Frosty on it would go incredibly hard. I think I'll just pick up an upgrade on our cards and see where that gets us. I will be burning that one card. Just so that we can get yet another Quark into the deck. Oh, unfortunately all of our cards have already been cycled through. So we will be burning that one as well. The best thing we could possibly get here, I think, would be yet another, it would be yet another Frosty component on one of our cards. That would be truly excellent. Yes, this is another benefit of Jester. These cards that normally would be a little bit awkward for us to play, they no longer... because of Jester, they all come with a component, which means that they'll always do something, even if they're like normally unusable, quote unquote. I will be burning that. Thank you very much. That ought to do it. Oh, right. Why am I even playing? It's over. It's completely done. So Misfire has the potential to be insanely strong. Right. Because this means that we can keep making use of it every single turn. I do think I'll be picking a Misfire here, just like Chain is, I think, one of the strongest upgrades in the game, depending on what it lands on, and being able to play Misfire over and over again with all of our 0 costs is definitely going to be huge. In that vein, I think Salve is almost exactly what we're asking for here for Christmas. Unburning all of our cards here. Oh my god, I just realized, because it doesn't overheat while we have liquid coolant, this is kind of our license to burn as many things as we possibly want while liquid coolant is frozen in our hand. I think this might have just taken our deck from like pretty good into completely broken territory. And on that note, I'm going to pick up a little more card advantage here in this form of both Insulation and Gift Card. Well, both of these basically just draw us a little bit extra every single turn. Insulation triggers whenever we draw junk or a burnt card. That's liquid coolant, and guess what? That's also all the quarks in our deck, which are all junk. Gift Card, again, works with junks, works with quarks, works with liquid coolant, works with rush, works with recess. Everything in this deck is just humming together very nicely, and I think we're going to kick the absolute crap out of Nessie. Let's see if we actually can manage that. Do not mind that one bit. Yeah, we have salve now, so I do not mind really at all. Having to burn through a bunch of having to burn cards that I normally wouldn't necessarily burn. That will burn the liquid coolant for us, which is actually pretty important as far as potentially freezing it using I wonder if I should just play the salve now, because as it stands it's not going to be able to... Yeah, I think I'll be doing that. Yes, this guy absolutely will get hit by that, so there's no worry there. I guess our real worry is going to be these 3 apples next turn. Yeah, only a single Quark in our deck at this juncture, which not exactly what you want to see at a moment like this. But Misfire is going to come in with the steel chair here, I suspect. So yeah, I think that's going to be that for that turn. Yeah, Liquid Coolant is a really messed up card, as you were able to see there. Just an awful lot of bullshit you can get up to with that. That's something. I guess this is a map where like Min might normally have a little bit some issues because she is unable to because with how many holes there tend to be out here, especially because of what she's doing. I bet she has this tendency to like get a lot of her stuff jammed up. Min might be just a little bit messed up. I'm not gonna hold you. Some of this stuff, it gets a little more ridiculous than words can describe. But, it's all well and easy to see Min on a good day and say, oh my gosh, she must be the strongest character in the game. But she does, I do promise, she has some, she definitely does still have some issues with, consistency on a bad day. You just won't necessarily see it here because, well, we're having the time of our life right now. I see, right. So yeah, Nessie's gonna come here and start chomping her way down the lanes, but I don't suspect this will be too much of an issue. But we'll just have to see. Yeah, most of our deck is going to end up being Quarks at this juncture, so we're going to put a lot of bombs out there on the map. Let's just see how everything shakes out. So that does take care of all the apples on the map. I think now the goal is to just draw into an atomic fire, yep, and I think that should just kill Nessie right now. Yep. Big bounty on top of everything. Pretty happy with how we performed there. Laser bullets, that is an interesting thought. I do think we have a lot of mobility with Rush and Recess already, and that this would really power up our, this would really, like, amp up how much firepower we have with both Atomic Fire, Recess, Salve, Artillery Strike too. This is going to give us a lot of, like, reach in parts of the map that, like, yeah, laser bullets, it's a artifact that you don't get to play with all that often, because a lot of the time, as a gunner, the thing you're going to be lacking will be mobility and utility instead of firepower. This sacrifices some reach and utility you normally have and give you a bunch more firepower, because each of your bullets can now deal up to 4 damage. Don't get me wrong, that's very good. It's just not what gunners usually need. I personally am also wondering if I should try to reroll here and hit something else, because Min still has a lot of, like, very, very high roll cards that she can get into. Laser bullets is fine, but there are some extreme high rolls that could still be in the cards. I think taking laser bullets here would be totally fine, and I would not be surprised at all if that just led to a win with little to no effort, but I will reroll again. I do think there are some even stronger artifacts that could pop up here, which I would be very interested in. Is Nova Ray what we're looking for? This could be the one. Every time you burn a card, fire a bullet up from each bomb, and you have seen how many bombs we end up putting out on the map. I think Nova Rays might just be exactly what we want here. Ugh. This is one artifact that I've, like, very, very rarely used, because most gunners do not go hard enough in either of these directions to really fully take advantage of it. I think I've played Min with a bunch of the other broken stuff that I'm imagining right now. Some, like, real notorious culprits for making a deck like this even more broken. Soul Siphon, Furnace, Hothead, Red Giant. I do really want to see one of them. This is the first time that we're playing Min on the channel. I kind of want to just play something that like really demonstrates how like ridiculously broken she can be. I'm gonna reroll like one more time. Okay, maybe we will reroll one last time. We're out here to have some fun, you know. And if this kills me, this kills me. Are we really gonna reroll all that time just to land back on laser bullets? God damn. That kind of sucks. I'm not gonna hold you. Whatever. I will reluctantly pick up laser bullets, even though there were a lot of excellent hits that would have made me very happy. It is what it is. For my incredible greed and hubris, I think we will get incredibly punished here, because we won't have any access to rerolls for the rest of the game, I think, because I don't really feel that comfortable going into the final fight without at least 2 rerolls. There even is a chance that Doom Ritual will show up as the permanent fixture there for us, which we would be pretty much forced to reject. Ugh. That's not good at all. That is not good. But still, I think our deck is so insanely broken that I do not mind this current state of affairs. Alright. I am still a little bit, just a little bit, upset about having to pay for my hubris by like rerolling repeatedly and not getting anything, but, you know, I signed up for it. You know what they say, play stupid prizes, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and that's exactly what we did. Not a giant, if I had to be honest, not a giant fan of any of these, but Into the Fray could be fine, for what it's worth. Just being able to, like, having a move for 4 is just very strong. This extra bit of text on the bottom is just gravy. I think I'll pick up Into the Fray here. A lot to like. A lot to like there. And for the last node we'll ever get, I think I will try to pick up an upgrade. Again, getting a frozen modifier on any of our cards is a pretty tantalizing possibility, but of course there is quite a lot more that can happen. I think I'll try to draw a card with that. Burn a card with that. Alright, let's see what else the game has in store for us. I think, yeah, priority number 1 is actually going to be to run it down here. And make sure we can deal with this Astromancer here. I think after this turn, all that should be left would be this Astromancer. which does still leave me plenty to work with because, yeah. It spawns these two guys, that's a combo of 3, which will give us a big payout from that, so... One Echo there. And Frosty, that's exactly what we need from Liquid Coolant. Yeah, just now, if we want it to stay in our hand forever, it can just stay in our hand forever. It's also just a excellent burn target, even more than usual, because we can burn it freely without it ever staying burnt. Just exactly what I hoped to pick up there, which can't ask for more than that. Okay, I think School Bus is just the stone cold nuts for us. Because it lets us pick up Liquid Coolant whenever we play any starter card. That's any of our fires, any of our atomic fires, even our Catalyst, which happens to be a very strong card. And also in that vein, I think I'll pick up Wormhole, one of the all-time channel favorites if any of y'all have watched for a little bit. I think Detonator is also good here. Detonator is like a certified classic on Min. Mostly because, like, it's, how should I say this? Its effect actually stacks with Atomic Fire, which means that if you destroy a detonator with an Atomic Fire, both of the radius bonuses will apply at once, making your bombs explode with +2 radius. I don't know about you, but that is insanely good, and we will be picking that up. And with the rest of our money, I think I'll just remove a few. Of our like starter detritus cards. Yes, we do need them to trigger School Bus, but like even just having 6 in our deck still will be, I think, more than enough to make School Bus insane. And yeah, with that, our deck is finished. I think this might... I would be very, very surprised if this deck managed to somehow lose. But, you know me, I am someone who can just snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Like yesterday with Garu. So don't be too surprised if we still do end up getting shot in the head. I might as well play this, and yeah, I think I'll just burn the Liquid Coolant. Yeah, these guys are going to give me a bunch of junk, but with the help of Jester, I think we're going to be able to cope with it fairly well. So yeah, here's that incredible explosion radius I was discussing earlier. With that, we just blew up the entire board with like a single attack, which I think should go to show like how unbelievably broken this combo truly is. Yeah, unfortunately that does mean that we don't have too much more to do on this particular turn, but I guess I should have at least played the Artillery Strike for what it's worth. But I do suspect it'll still all be totally fine. Yeah, definitely feeling the restrictions that are imposed on me by laser bullets just a little bit here. But I think that's just a price that we'll have to pay for doing business. Yeah, we're not clearing the board as quickly as I would like. But that might be asking for a tad too much, given like how fast we're really getting all of this done. Burn another one of these. Alright, there's my beloved. Yeah, we're kind of struggling to put out like as much quirk as I would honestly want, but I think the one solution to that might just be that like we need to I don't know. I guess the fight's literally over. But yeah, this deck does not pop off as hard as I would have imagined, like a mid deck of this caliber does. Though still, we're doing some like really ridiculous stuff, so I don't want to sound too disappointed. I suspect we'll finish the Overseer fight, maybe with a few hiccups here and there, but with 3 reroll tokens and Wormhole, I think we're going to be totally fine no matter what. Ah, man. What an awesome deck this has been. Yeah, would have really loved just seeing a single hot-headed or something along those lines. Hot-headed would have, as it usually does, made this deck go like absolutely nuts. Because all the junks that we would generate would not stop us from like playing our cards on our turn, which would have gone just a little bit nuts. Just a little bit. I do think I should actually probably just burn the artillery strike while we're at it. Why not, right? I think, yeah, something we really ought to do is just try to keep our liquid cooling in our hand every single turn from now on. It's probably just a smart move. And as such, I think our prime candidate for burning using Catalyst is going to be this artillery strike from now on. Oh, right, we don't have access to our... Where's our detonator? Oh, it's in the deck somewhere. I just haven't drawn it. Understandable. Let's unburn this artillery strike and then burn it again using Catalyst. Again, the one thing that I really am struggling with is, like, putting out what I think is, like, an appropriate amount of burning every single turn. So that means if I get the chance to burn both Catalyst and the artillery strike on the same turn, I'm gonna take it. I do my best to make that work. I think this should just finish this fight, this part of the fight off. Guess not. This definitely will, though. And yeah, we'll just burn one more thing with that. I do hope this... Okay, yeah, this does trigger after this new phase activates, which is actually a massive boom. I think with the help of laser bullets, we won't really have to think too hard about dealing with, like, the primary difficulty of this fight, this part of the fight. It's mainly a test of volume, and laser bullets is going to give us that in spades and more. Yeah, like, math science is just working overtime for us here. Which, I think we should be very grateful for. I do wonder why. I do wonder why Detonator burns itself at a juncture like this while the discounted Catalyst does not. That is very strange, but in any case, I have a feeling that we're just going to kill everything on the screen next turn because of the millions and millions of quarks still hanging out in our deck. Like, it's literally all quarks. It's all quarks and junk, yo. That's where we're at right now. What a beautiful, beautiful sight. My god. Okay, now we really just need to find our detonator? Where is our detonator? Oh, it's still hanging out in there. Well, whatever. Oh, our hand's full, so we didn't pick it up. That's kind of tragic. Guess we might as well play that. We might as well play this as well. Turns out we just don't have to ever end our turn, I guess. That's kind of ridiculous, but it is the world we're living in. For what it's worth. Is there any way we can move like one square up? Because that would let me snipe this Chaos Swarm? I don't think so. Let's just burn this last bit. And call it a day. Just well and truly, absolutely ludicrous what this deck can do without so much as flinching. Alright, that should take care of things. And here we go for the final phase of the fight. I guess it might still be helpful to just toss in a few of these as we go. Did we exhaust all of our quarks? I'm afraid we may have. We may have done just that. guess, yeah, let's just do something like that. Put some more quarks into circulation. But yeah, I think this run is about as good as it's ever gonna be. That will unfortunately end our turn because I think we went just a little bit too ham there. But unfortunately for the Overseer, I don't think that's gonna exactly help her survive this last little bit here. Yeah, we will just end it all with that. And I think, yeah, we'll just... that should take care of things. Whew, what a fun run we had there. So yeah, that's the newest pilot, well, one of the newest pilots in the game, Min. Really showing off what she's capable of if you give her, like, the right cards. But even, it's kind of crazy, like, how much she can do with just, like, a few synergy pieces, because of how unbelievably synergistic and powerful Omega Gate and Quarks are. I think I also showcased pretty well how many like synergy links she pulls on with like this very tight but powerful package of like Quarks being zero cost, Quarks being junk, Quarks working off of all the burning stuff that gunners normally encourage you to do, and also the whole like deal with bombs. Yeah, and I gotta be honest with you, this isn't even the most crazy Min deck I've come up with. There is so much more that we could have gotten instead of Laser Bullet here to make this deck well and truly insane. A Hothead would have gone very far, Red Giant would have been insane, Furnace would have been awesome. Min also has two unique exclusive boss artifacts, which both would have just like taken this deck very far into the next level. Still, a dub is a dub, and I'm very happy that we came back from our loss with such an awesome deck. If you really enjoyed today's content, I would appreciate it if you subscribed and liked the video. But in the meantime, I will be signing off, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next run. Bye!